Melanie's not here, take the call.
Oh, shoot.
You want me to do roll call?
Yeah,
I can do it.
please.
All right, Commissioner Lanway,
Here.
Commissioner Hankins,
Here.
Commissioner Aaron's,
Here.
Commissioner Mason, not here.
Okay. We're at add or remove agenda items.
I just circled.
Thank you.
Do we want to add or remove something? No items to add or remove, so we'll move on to review approval of the meeting minutes for June 18th. Would somebody like to make a motion to approve of the minutes?
So moved.
Second. All in
Yes.
favor? Say aye.
No, okay.
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries. Minutes are passed. Public comment. Mary, do you have any public comment?
No, I knew I was gonna make it, but Scott was just ahead of me.
Is there anybody else that would like to make a public comment? Okay, we'll move on. Oral Health Program Administrative Leave Job Description Edition. Holly.
Okay. So in the packet that Melanie had sent out were a couple of job descriptions, the first one being the oral health administrative lead. So in past board reports and discussions, we've brought up the kindergarten oral health assessment program that has been added to the Michigan Public Health Code. So it is part of the essential services now that local health departments need to provide, right along with hearing and vision. So with that comes funding and with that comes work. So we have, in the last fiscal year, we did pilot this program, and Dawn Marie is here today, and she's been a really big part of that. But this oral health administrative lead, this is really a employee that will be setting up and tearing down these clinics in the schools. So we're hoping, to work with the hearing and vision staff in our health department and loop in the oral health aspect now and make it a well-oiled machine. So that's really what this position will be. They'll be compiling data, they'll be helping with billing purposes, running reports, et cetera. So the job description is there. This person will report to our community health supervisor and be under our community health director. And this is a non-exempt position. And when we created the job description and then scored it with our standardized tool, it did come out at a classification 7. I think really that is all I have to say. Just a little bit of background for the kindergarten oral health assessment, funding. This is in my report today, but they did get a $2.5 million increase in the state budget for FY25. So that really brings it up to this 4.26 million, so that the state can actually afford to pay the local health departments to go out and carry through these assessments. The formula of how much we're getting is yet to be determined. But we are counting down the days. Shannon especially, they are,
4.26 for the whole state.
yes. Right.
It's not-
So another essential service that doesn't have a lot of funding behind it. They are discussing having a base of 60,000 per health department. We are anticipating more than that, but Shannon is on a formula committee. She's representing a rural health department, so we're hopeful, that we get the representation that we deserve and need. But we've got about 1,400 to 1,600 kindergarten students that will be screening.
In the 4 counties.
Correct.
Okay.
Any other questions?
No, you want to go on and explain the next one, so we know
Sure.
the difference, and then we.
Yep, the next one is, I think, even easier. So the next job description is for a registered dental hygienist. So historically, we have had registered dental hygienists as independent contractors. And now with the IRS's rules changing, the independent contractor versus an employee, our human resource manager has done her research and consulted our HR consulting firm, and really because we dictate the location of their work, when they go to work, what they do for work, all of these stipulations that we check the box on, that we really need to bring them in as employees. Now, the registered dental hygienist they're gonna be very part-time. So we're talking I would say maximum 20 to 30 days a year. So,
How many positions?
well, it depends on, well, the number of kindergartens that we have to screen year to year.
Mhm.
Usually, it's 4 to 5.
Okay, so we're still essentially contracting with them, but we're not really. They're technically employees,
Correct.
but it's still kind of
Right, it's
similar.
really a minimal amount, I think just to meet that IRS standard. That's what we're hoping to do. And, like I said, it would be probably a maximum of 30 days a year. They do great work. Most of these, hygienists are retired hygienists that, want a little part-time something and still want to be active in their community and they like being in the school, all of those type things. Correct. So, that's where the registered dental hygienist would be. Same thing. They would report to the community health supervisor under the community health division. They are a classification 9, so because of their licensure and things, they do fall within that, which is really equal to where we were paying them as an independent contractor.
Good.
So that's what I have.
I have a question.
Sure.
So we have dental clinics going right now, and that's for everybody and anybody, right?
Correct.
So if we do this program, and we do this program and we say to the parent, your child needs to get
Mhm.
some dental work, does it go to dental clinics store?
Yes.
So we're working for ourselves.
Yeah, really wherever we can get a referral into. So, by all means, that is part of the assessment program is if a child does have an immediate need or, some type of issue that they're gonna need treated, that we would connect them to some type of dentist, whether that's Dental Clinics North or, an FQHC, maybe they already see a private dentist and just make sure that that connection is made.
So they're like 2 different programs.
Correct.
right? Okay.
Mhm.
That's what I wanted to make sure I understood that, so
Yeah, yes.
I don't have a problem. Does anybody have any other questions on these 2 job descriptions? Do we need to make a motion on both of them to pass them or?
We did.
Yeah. So I'm gonna make a motion to add job description of oral health administrative lead to the Health Department of Northwest Michigan's classification schedule at a level 7. Second.
All in favor, say aye. Aye. Anybody opposed?
Actually, do we need to, if we're, I think we're spending money, do we need to do roll call? Oh, it's usually the roll.
Okay, roll call.
Okay,
Sorry.
No.
I just want to do it.
Commissioner Aaron's,
Yes.
Commissioner Van Way,
Yes.
Commissioner Hankins,
Yes.
motion passed.
Okay, and I would also make a motion to add the job description of registered dental hygienist to the Health Department of Northwest Michigan's classification schedule at a level 9. Second.
Oh, no, we need roll call.
Commissioner Hankins,
Yes.
Commissioner Van Way,
Yes.
Commissioner Aaron's,
Yes.
motion passed.
Okay, next is the manage.
The money lady, that's right.
Here. Good morning, bright and early, lots of numbers. All right, well, we have before you today the amended 2024 budget. If you recall last year in September, I brought you the initial 2024 budget. Throughout the year, we have things that change. When we make our original budget, we don't always know all of our funding because the state has not decided all of their funding. And I think you just heard about the funding formula that hasn't been determined yet. So it's not the only thing in our world that isn't determined yet when we make that initial budget. But we are more than 3/4 through the year at this point in time. And we have a very good handle on what we need and have in our 2024 budget. So, and I apologize for these numbers being so tiny, but there's a lot of numbers. I didn't even give you the full unabridged version. I condensed it as much as I could. If you look at the sheet that you have, it's yours colored, mine's. Yours is.
Yep.
Thanks, Mel. All right, the last three columns are really what we're looking at. You've got your final budget, which is the bright blue column, and that's what we're looking at today, and that's what we are approving. Next to that on the right-hand side is the initial budget that we brought before you, and then the last column is the difference and why we are here and what we've got to. So I do want to point out a couple of things. I highlighted these in the memo, but if you didn't have a chance to read it, we did have an increase of 9.2%. And it's really, the majority of it is due to dental, to be quite honest with you. The revenues, we're doing more dental services than we've ever done before. And on top of that, if you remember last year, Medicaid increased the reimbursement rates. Then they turned around and increased the types of services that we could offer. And they provided us the opportunity to give more services and they'll pay for more. So couple those two things together and we are seeing a significant increase in dental. Not something that you can easily budget for when you don't have a history of it and know what it looks like and have a historical pattern to go by. So we did the best we could. We were under by a little bit, which wasn't too bad in the grand scheme of things. We also received a one-time SPA settlement, which is state plan amendment. We are one of the few health agencies that has a dental program. And so we kind of got pushed to the back burner when the state's busy trying to true up some of the Medicaid costs. We finally talked it through with them. It was kind of putting together a number of years that they had not settled it up with us. So they owe us, we owe them, you net it all together. And we've got that settlement this year. It's a one-time payment. We will not see it again because the SPA program has ended now that Medicaid's providing the higher service rates. So we were glad to have that finally taken care of, put to bed. So that's really what's driving a lot of our revenues. On the salaries, obviously, the more dental people you have working, the higher it goes, but you won't see them under salaries and wages. You will see them under contractual and consulting because we pay Dental Clinics North to staff and run our dental clinics. So there's a $954,000 increase. The majority of it is due to the dental. The other thing we're seeing is fringe benefits go up. And there's a reason for this. With this additional SPA money, we did two things. First off, we wanted to increase the funding to our retirement liability, our pension plan. At this point, we are 84% funded. It's always good if you've got a little extra on the books to go ahead and get that closer to 100% funded. However, we know that our medical costs, insurance costs are going to continue to rise. And we took some of the money from the SPA settlement and trued up that account and created the difference, which was $1.1 million. I don't want to put all of it into the pension and then next year we turn around knowing that our medical costs are going to go up and go, uh-oh, now what do we do? So we decided let's split it into 2 years. So we're going to pay it off in full, it would cost about $1 million. This year in 2024, we're going to put $500,000 in there. That'll get us to 92-93% funded. And then next year, if we have our medical costs covered, we can take the other $500,000 and go ahead and get that pension liability paid to 100%. I should put a caveat in there. There's a whole actuarial valuation calculation to calculating your pension being 100% funded. If the market goes down, we may have to put a little more in there at a different time, but it would be significantly less than what we're paying now. So I can't say it's 100%. We'll never pay a dime again.
Seems prudent though.
Yes, it's very prudent to make sure that our employees are taken care of and that we have that funded. We don't want to be in a position where we can't pay it. So that's why you're going to see in that fringe benefits line, that additional amount. I do need board approval to put that 500,000 into the pension fund. So I will need a motion to do that. I went ahead and made an assumption that you would approve it. But if you decide you do not want to do that, I do have a second version available where we take that back out with me today. So that's that. Let me see. We talked about the staffing. I do want to remind you again, the other expenses we have broken out to be more transparent. And again, some of these we're still sorting out which column or which row they should be in. But other expenses above it, we have advertising media, other contractual, computer software, and health services. Those are historically have all been grouped together in the other category. And we've broken those out just so it gives a better picture of exactly kind of what makes up that other category. There's still kind of the catch-all, unfortunately, but trying to be more transparent. So at the end of the day, we have a $1 million surplus, almost 1.1 million. And if you look at the very last row, all the way across, you'll notice that dental is the one that's carrying that $1 million surplus. That's where it's generated from. So it's a good thing we have them because we're closing with a surplus balance that's looking really good this year. Any questions? This is a lot of information on a single page, so.
So the end of the fiscal year is September 30th?
September 30th is
Yeah,
our,
one.
yes. Next month, I'm going to be bringing you the initial fiscal year 25 budget because we build it off of 24. We know what happened in 24. Now what do we know that's gonna change, be different, and start building 25? In fact, we're well into it at this point.
Would you suspect that dental will bring us a lot more money again?
I suspect dental will come in at a surplus again, but if we budget a little tighter this year, it may not be as much because we'll know, if they have, we're trying to get them equipment that is outdated and update some of that and some of the facilities, new paint, new floors, they're kind of getting dated. So while we have a little bit additional money, let's go ahead and put that back into the business. They are kind of test piloting a crown milling machine in office. Right now, we send out for all of the crowns that are made, which means you have to have a second appointment to come back and get the crown put in. If we mill it in-house, it only takes one appointment. So that would give us more opportunity to get other appointment slots available, which is tight right now, so.
That means more income generated.
Right, because we're not sending it out to a lab. Mhm.
Yeah.
But it also means the expense of having somebody there
In
doing
the time, yes, I'm saying, yeah.
Is that
Better patient care.
difficult
Still.
or does anybody do that?
They tell me it'll take, if the dentists are experienced with it, and the ones that were trialing it in this office, they've all done it in the private practice before.
Mhm.
They can have somebody in and out in about an hour, hour and a half. It takes about 45 minutes to mill it.
That's wonderful.
It's a CNC machine.
Oh,
Yeah, basically.
And you just pop it in.
And Gorilla Glue.
Well, yeah.
Yeah,
So
What
it's really
else?
no lab, I mean, you
I
don't
think
hire a
we're-
lab person for.
Not for-
I bet for you.
Okay, so I will make a motion that we, move the health department Northwest Michigan pay an additional $500,000 towards a pension liability in fiscal year 2024 and be brought to the full board of health for review.
Second.
Seconded by Neil. We have to do roll call?
Yeah.
Commissioner Aaron's,
yes.
Commissioner Higgins,
Yes,
Commissioner Lemanway,
Yes,
motion passed.
motion carries. Okay, another motion for the budget amendment.
Chair, I move the fiscal year 2024 budget amendment in the amount of $37,514,244 be brought to the full board of health for review and approval.
I'll
second.
Oh, Scott's gonna second. Okay, all in favor? Motion,
Commissioner Aaron's,
Yes.
Commissioner Lemanway,
yes.
Commissioner Higgins,
Yes.
motion carried.
Motion carried.
Congratulations, by the way, on being 92 to 93% funded.
It's huge.
Charlotte County is not in that same position. It's unfortunate.
I can't take the credit for it. My predecessors were very smart and, they were wise and knew to
We're
do
working,
that.
we're doing the same thing that the health department is here paying extra on it, but it's,
Where are you
It's
at?
tough.
It's a long time.
we're about 75%.
Well, that's not bad.
That's the $20 million debt,
To make you feel better,
$20 million.
I went to the MERS conference and I sat in on a session about pension.
Mhm.
And there was one organization that was 23% funded. And I'm like, how
Oh
are
my
you
God.
even in
Because they
business? Like,
care all those years.
oh, scared me to death.
You only make the minimum payment.
That's all you get, yeah.
I don't know what they're gonna do and thank God I'm not there.
Right.
I would say.
Grand Traverse, I'm gonna go with it.
Grand Traverse put out a village.
Yes.
but
Oh, really?
a Bond proposal,
Just
for
that.
it, because they were $50 million. Yeah. So, like that, Charlotte was not all that bad,
Right, right.
People, at least 10 years before I got.
Oh.
And
Uh,
they.
Return the
very-
meeting in 9:23.
Oh, yeah.
I think it's
Stop
very good.
recording.
Yeah,
Oops, sorry. I'm
So it made things easier for us.
that's good. Yeah. I'm not saying that our previous boards didn't do good things, and they went through different financial times and what we're doing, but.
Yeah.
And if we can,
Well,
we didn't get there overnight, we're not gonna get out overnight.
No,
that's the part people don't realize.
it took, it took many years. to get to the position we're at.
Yeah.
It's a good position, but it took a lot, and it was difficult. I know I look back and it was hard for them to get it done, but they got it done.
Yeah.
And they're smart, they're very visionary that way.